Thanks for joining me this evening, and welcome to Mind Over Muscle, and welcome as my VIPs. I'm going to give you a little personal insight into my life, which I don't talk about on the show. And the show is very much a message that I'm very, very passionate about, only because I've walked the walk. I've been there, I've done it. I'm not an intellect, I'm not a bookworm, I'm an extreme doer. Just do. 9 times out of 10, fuck up and I fail. But I'm not scared to get back up, dust myself off, learn from it and re-attack. That's what I've done my whole life. And all these small failures that I've done has led to the biggest successes, whatever you want to call success. But success lies within the eye of the beholder. I'm a strong believer in that. And ultimately, business is mind over muscle. A lot of people have got that upside down. They think what you see is what you get. Been there too many times. Once you chip away at that muscle, you take away that smoke and mirrors, and you're left with just this. A lot of people don't know how to handle that, don't know how to manage that. They haven't trained their minds. It's one of those, it's pretty much like sort of class it like mental health. You can't see it, does it exist? Yes, it does. It's like that with our minds. We can't see it, so we neglect to train it. We train what we see, and we think what you see is what you get. 9 times out of 10, it's not. Don't get me wrong. There's the rare few that have got that balance right. But the importance of the message of training this, that goes on until the day you die. That's going to hopefully get stronger and stronger. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, and you're going to become a better version of yourself the more you go on this journey. And I'm going to be talking about 2 things tonight mainly: failure and fear. 2 hurdles that stop us from achieving absolutely everything in life. People don't go near failure, they don't go near fear, they don't go near fear, that's your emotion. You don't go near yourself, you fail to commit to yourself. If you don't commit to yourself, you're not going to learn anything, you're not going to grow from it. It's only because I've been there and I've done it, I've exposed failure and fear so many times, just repetition, exposure. I've learned to train my mind and harness them and make them work for me. It's only because I've been there, and every time you expose it, you take a layer off of it. And every time you take a layer off of it, you get closer and closer to the nut. You're going to get to the nut, right? Every time you take a layer off of it, you start to understand about it, about failure and about fear, which is your emotion. And therefore, you start to understand about yourself. And you start to think, right, now you're getting closer and closer to the nut. Start to understand this. Right, you're going to make it work for you, because the moment it doesn't work for you, simple, very simple, is what it does. It works against you. And that's your own emotions are. In the real world, that's you working against yourself, which a lot of people do. You see them their whole lives and push and pull at war themselves, and they're doing this their whole lives. Because the 2 things, the main hurdles that are here forever. They don't harness and they don't grip and they don't take charge of. And they're not going anywhere. I've failed so much up to now in my life, and I'm going to fail to the day I die. That is a fact. And guess what? So are all of you, whether you like to hear it or not. Fear is not going anywhere either. I feel fear on a daily basis. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be with you till you take your last breath. The moment you acknowledge those 2 dirty words, and you make them, you harness them and make them work for you, and the better this journey will become. And again, it's just that exposure, those simple, small footsteps in the right direction. Do not think 0 to 100%, jumping that does not exist. Leaps and bounds do not exist. It's about those small exposures. But in order to train your mind, the key thing to do is to be honest with yourself. A lot of people talk to me and they say, "Anne, you've been in so many different situations. What does courage mean? What does bravery mean?" When I hear the word courage and bravery, when I break it down to what I've done in my life, I don't think of running into a building, bullets coming out of it. I don't think of saving a cow's life or them saving my life. I'm just highly trained in what I've done. I happen to be good at what I've done. That's why I managed to do that. I wasn't a hero, I wasn't brave, I wasn't courageous. But the one thing that really sticks out when I think about a moment that I was courageous was when I was brutally honest with myself. For those of you that have read my book, First Man In, and I was sat at the job centre on the steps with no job, between leaving the army and joining the Marines, and wondering why I was there. I started to fit that mirror on myself, brutally honest with myself. Accepted that I've got weaknesses, I accepted that I've got flaws. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it freed me from the age of 21. Because when you're brutally honest with yourself, no one can use it against you. And if you're lying to yourself, again, very, very simple, you're living a lie. Some people live a lie their whole lives. When you're honest with yourself, because people will want to define you by your weaknesses and negativities. They want to define you by your weaknesses and your flaws. That's what they will do. They pick up on your weakness or on a flaw of yours, and you let that completely engulf you. Let that completely become 100% of you. If you're honest and open, you go, yeah, I know that about myself, thanks very much. You can almost bat it back. But when you're not honest with yourself, you go, oh, they've hit a nerve there. We let someone 1% of negativity, where they've hit a nerve, completely engulf 100% of us. Instead of batting that 1% off, going, I know that about myself, I acknowledge that ages ago, thanks very much. Cool. That's liberating. When you do that, it frees you. And also, when you bat that 1% off, they don't know the other 99% of you. You know what I mean? The loving, the compassionate, the emotionally connected, the brilliant, the positive, go on and on and on. We have a horrible tendency of not being honest with ourselves. Therefore, when someone brings up a weakness or insecurity that we haven't acknowledged within ourselves, we go into shutdown mode due to someone else. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight as well, letting people in situations define us. You should always define yourself. People in situations will forge you along the way, okay? You must be the blacksmith of your destiny and sharpen that blade every single time. I'm going to let you into a little personal insight of knowing yourself, being brutally honest with yourself.